Right, welcome back to my Pokemon White Nuzlocke. Honestly, just after battling against the Elite Four Ryan and Jahitus, which was quite tough, obviously losing overall through all of that 5 out of 6 of our Pokemon only with Thompson remaining, which wasn't particularly good. And I found out afterward that the Hydrogen, which got rid of 4 members of the team, 4 members, is that right? No, I got rid of 3 members, didn't it? Yeah. I still got rid of a fair amount of the team. Didn't even have a Dark Attack. His Focus Blast is his last move, so Blumsing could have actually handled it, I think. Unless I got a crit. Dragon Pulse, Fire Blast, Surf wouldn't have been strong enough to take Blumsing out. Even Surf in the Rain, it wouldn't have been. I could have healed up a bit. The only problem was that the only attack Blumsing could use against Hydrogen is Shadow Ball, but even then, that's still some damage. It could have took it down a bit and whatnot, so that's kind of bad. But what's happened is what's happened. I mean, it's a blind playthrough for me, so I don't know exactly what I'm winning against. I'm still not great with familiar moves that stuff can learn, particularly in-game kind of learning, rather like, at least on the competitive side of things, it's more likely, okay, this is going to have this, this is going to have this. In-game wise, it depends what level up wise, but a varied amount of attacks, which made it a bit more difficult to handle. Expected to have a Dark Attack, but oh well, there's not really much you can do about that. But from looking online and everything, I found out there's actually a lot more in terms of exploration I can do than I actually expected there to be. There's still a lot of areas I can go to. Well, there's new areas I can actually go to now because I've completed the main story of the game, which also means that's new areas to capture new Pokemon. There's also like areas and places we've been before I've not actually been to yet, so that helps a bit, and that gives me a fair amount of places to go. The only main problem is that some of the levels, at least from when I looked at, are very high, and the fact that I only have one Pokemon for the time being makes it incredibly difficult to actually advance through it properly. I mean, only Blumson at the moment, even if I capture something, I'm probably going to have to level up a bit as well. So it is going to be a bit of a tough thing to go through, but it really depends. Do you think I should go for it, or should I just end the Nuzlocke here and just like stick with the main story? Like, I think the aim could be just really to beat the Elite Four again and beat Alder. I know Alder's Pokemon are about level 70, so that'll probably be a little while still, but it's just, it gives me another goal to go aim towards. I guess another thing which I've wanted to do, but I'm not sure if I'll do it anyway, is to capture legendaries as well. Obviously not use them, but there's a challenge of weakening them down and capturing it, which could be risky as well, but it's just another little side thing as well as other stuff I need to do, because that's really the main thing I need to get done. Yeah, I want to deposit everything in PC and like look at everything that's already in it, but I can't use this PC because it doesn't actually work that way, and I have some events to go through first, which is kind of, but I'm just going to mainly skip through them rather than do my usual little read through of them, because there isn't really majorly that important. Obviously we have our mum here, and we have our second mum, or really is Looker from, if you play Pokemon Platinum you recognise Looker being a detective from Sinnoh. Now he's looking here for Team Plasma and whatnot, and it's like, oh, but then you and the gym leader's help stop them, but the 7 sages are still somewhere hidden around, so you need to go find them. Alder recommended you and stuff, and he's also going to give us a super rod and then explain how to use it and everything, so it's nothing particularly that exciting. I don't know how useful it will be or whatever or anything. I do like the thing here because the man's basically like, weren't we talking about Team Plasma's 7 sages? What does this have to do with looking for those people? And he's like, look, I see, it's surely Declan's mama to ask so what my living question? I admire it. It's my pleasure to answer. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, completely unrelated. I just love that little bit of humor there. Look, I don't remember much from Platinum. If I even I think I even played it that. No, I never even played it much. So I don't really remember looking at all that much. And then we have Jaren and Bianca here. Bianca is still in the dark about what exactly happened at the wherever and whatnot, and she's like, Shadow Grid? What's that? But then, yeah, and then the professor's father or whatever comes along in a second. And Bianca was assuming where she's going to go to White Forest. I doubt there's going to be too much there because I can't use the link thing to link to other players. Oh, I could for a longer system of things, but I wouldn't be able to record it. Like obviously if I copy this on and put in whatever card thing I have for the DS to put the game on and save and that, play it for that way. I don't know, but I can't do it on the PC, which is obviously what I'm recording on. I don't know, but we get a national dex, which was fine and lovely, I guess, and we get more annoying talking and stuff. I'm not too bothered about it. It's not really that great. I know we could battle back Bianca and Sharon again. I can't remember where they are, but I know they're pretty high level as well, so it's kind of a bit of an annoyance. But I think it's like specific days or times or whatever, which means I may have to look through them and everything. But yeah, let's see how the Pokédex is doing. Okay, nothing particularly that exciting. I could probably look for the nationalist. I can't be bothered doing that now. Anyway, we'll fly to here, because I think, so there's like obviously the places over here to check out. There's a few green dots around about, and there's a few green dots other places I've not been to. Trying to remember which ones it is, but there's a few that I don't think I could have got to either till later in the game or I couldn't get to till now. I know like I could need stuff from whatever thing for the P2 laboratory as well. I've ended up been looking online what places I can go to and everything, but that's just the main places. Obviously, again, I'll be able to capture some new Pokemon, hopefully, to increase the team and whatnot, and that, but I'm not sure. Again, it really just depends if you think, would it be worthwhile going through all of that again, but yeah. Anyway, let's see here, building up the PC, which was the Meteor. I think I remember if we met a Meteor, or whatever. I'm not sure, but congratulations, all papers were added to it. Anyway, I shall be back in a second. Right, I'm back after a quick bit of re-editing there, and Smiley's over here, and I've already deposited the Pokemon in, as I'm just going to have a quick look through of anything I remember from them. Obviously, going over the year, and some things obviously being in the team longer than others, so it's harder to remember certain things. In this case, Simon the Patrat. I remember it was one of the first few things I caught. I think I remember naming him. I think he died to a crit or he died to a bite attack. I can't remember which. But that wasn't good. He hadn't really been able to have much time to show his usefulness at the point, but it was still quite a nice little Pokemon to have, and it's quite sad that he was the very first death of the Nuzlocke. Next on, one of my favourites, particularly for the earlier parts of it, was Met Dog the Herdier. He was also one of the strongest of the team at that point, going along with Lucy. Lucy probably more the bulkier at that point, being able to take more hits than the rest of the team and be able to do decent damage back. Met Dog was the one who would do quite a fair amount of damage quite easily. I don't remember how you died, sadly, Met Dog, but I think the majority of things really died to crits and few of my bad plays, which generally that's how anything's going to die, crits or bad plays really, but it really just sucked that Met Dog dies. He would have been a really good asset to the team, particularly for the end game stuff. Moving on to particularly Jess, who was the first and only one out of 2 grass types who got through the whole Nuzlocke. It was a bit of a sad. I think she died when, I can't remember, it's not Parleon, it's Parleon's evolved form. I kept it in just for experience and then I switched out, but I had Pursuit, and because Jess had really bad defense, I just took her out in one hit, and that just really wasn't good. I really like grass types. I really like I had Elite Seed, Sleep Powder, Mega Drain. I really have a thing for that kind of moveset combination, and I really quite like that. It's one of my favourite things about grass types, is the Elite Seeds and the powders and healing with Mega Drain and Giga Drain and stuff like that. But I was a bit sad to see Jess go at that point. Minishino or Minishino or whatever it's called, Scruffy. I don't remember, I don't think I used it that much, and then one of the points I did use it, I just remember him dying. It wasn't being a great team member at the point, but he was still there and boosting numbers, boosting morale, and that was just Scruffy for you, really. And Ducklet, the Kazuki, I remember I caught him on the bridge, on the way to wherever. I didn't remember where I was going. I don't remember where exactly. I think I remember in my head like ruffling the map where the bridge is, but I don't know what it's called. I don't know what cities are after or between it. But yeah, I just flew down and we captured him, and he was quite useful. I believe at that point we already had Clyde, who's the next one along, putting us at 3 water types in the team, which is making it quite interesting. But we did have quite a few different immunities and resistances with the 3 different typings of them. It's quite useful. I was also the first flyer with Clyde, I believe. So, but sad this when he went. I don't remember when he went, but it wasn't particularly very nice. And now Clyde, the Palpitoad. I really like Clyde's. This is one of my favourites. He was also pretty strong. He was also quite varied in his attacks. He was, even though he's a water type, he was quite varied compared to Lucy. Well, not saying that Lucy wasn't varied, but like they varied against each other. It wasn't basically like having 2 of the same type water types. Obviously, there's a water ground as well, which giving them that electric immunity was really nice. And he would have been brilliant for the end of the game, but sadly he went down. I don't remember how, but it was just not good, which was kind of sad. And going to Southgate the Clink, I think he died not too long after we caught him. We caught him in the Chargestone Caves, and then I used him for a bit, and I think he just died. Which wasn't very nice. I really wish I remembered this more. One thing, if when I do this, I'm going to try and make notes of certain events. When I capture a Pokemon, and like this is off screen, like taking a note when I capture it and taking a note when it dies, and maybe some significant battles I might feel like it'd be worthwhile. And afterward, I can go through the videos. I could take those certain points, and at the end, whether I win or fail, I could just go for a quick little run through of everything that happened, little highlights of them going through. But because there's over 60 odd parts, I need to go from the very beginning. I can't really do that now, but it would be lovely if I could try and do that next time. I originally wanted to do it for here after doing the brown Nuzlocke, but that didn't happen, did it? I'm on to Luigi now. I'd quite like to get another grass type. It was somewhat useful, but a bit like Fish Knight, he just was not strong enough and he just went down quite easily. But the difference between him and Fish Knight was that Fungus, or Luigi, was able to evolve, and just not at this point, but it just went a bit before his time. Zazu, I absolutely loved, just for the fact it was like a flyer after Gazuki, so I was able to fly around a fair bit, which was really quite nice. But again, Zazu went down. I don't remember how, but just not particularly very nice. It was quite a useful Pokemon as well. I think it basically just got overpowered against whatever it was against at the point, thinking I'll survive the hit, and it went down. Terrell, a bit like Bruce Lee, having the Sturdy ability was really useful. Moveset wise at this point, it wasn't too great. I don't remember, I think he must have went down a roundabout or in the 8th gym, because that's kind of like the big, that was like the first massacre after what happened recently. Terrell was a really good Pokemon to have. The third ability was amazingly useful. It was a shame I wasn't able to evolve him further because of it being trading evolution, but either way, even as a boulder, he was still amazing and a good member of the team. Ed, one of the biggest hits. Ed was just incredibly bulky, incredibly powerful, really good typing, really good ability, good moves and everything, and he just did wonderful. It was just a shame, I can't remember exactly what I did. I'm pretty sure it was during the 8th gym, and I think there was just so many crits in that gym that it just, the team mostly got obliterated because of that, and it was annoying because Ed again would have been a really useful thing for the Elite Four, particularly that typing, and the movesets he had against a Ghost, Dark, Psychic, Fighting, well maybe less so Fighting, but those 3 he would have been useful. He would have been useful against Hydrogen, he would have been useful against a lot of threats throughout N and his team as well, but it's a shame he went down, most likely to a crit sometime in the 8th gym, which was annoying. Chompy Croc, again, similar, 8th gym again, dark ground typing was quite good. 2 immunities, which is lovely, Psychic and electric immunities. Again, just it went down, sadly, to just stuff that happened. Joe, I don't remember what I was against, but I remember it was in something that either had a ghost or dark type attack, and I wasn't expecting it to have that, so I switched Joe in. Joe went down straight away, 1-hit KO. That was it. Joe could have been a really good member of the team as well, but my bad play, really. And now for Tim, the infamous Fire Monkey. Everyone loves Tim. How can you not love Tim? Look at him with his little hands and everything, and his hair, which I always wanted to eat because I always just thought it looked edible, and Tim is just fabulous. I really liked him. Tim was probably one of the ones I was most attached to. I don't know why. And personally, I'm not even really a big fan of the elemental monkeys, but I still loved him. It was just like, again, he was one of the earlier things we got. I think it was like around 5, 6, 7 or something. But again, he had lasted so long, and just dying at that point at the gym again, it just wasn't nice. But it was annoying. So they got the Irish sort of stat boosters and crits and everything, which is just horrible. Now we're going to Hoyle the Drillgun. Again, dragon typing would have been really useful to have, but again, after the 8th gym, just in the route after it, in between Victory Roads, I can't remember how he died, but it was just overpowered, and he just went down, which was kind of sucky, because he did have the potential to be great, but it didn't really matter too much, sadly. Now onto versatility. More recently, the Psychic Elite 4 member having the Stiliphion, or whatever it's called, the psychic flying thing that just reminds me of Zatu. Zatu Cross Unknown, I guess. At the outset of the Beam, versatility went down in its first, or one of its first battle appearances on screen. Not very nice. I didn't really use versatility even that much when I was grinding. At most I did experience share, and then I went for a moveset I thought it might work and used it a few times it worked. But obviously it was a higher level than the stuff it was versing, and it would have been good if it evolved, but it evolved via happiness, and it just wasn't happy enough to evolve, annoyingly. On Bruce Lee, even though he's only probably one of the more recenter members of the team, I got quite attached to him. I really just genuinely love the design of Bruce Lee as well. I do just love it being a turtle. I know why. I do have a thing for quite a few of the water type Pokemon who are, I don't know how to describe it, who basically aren't fish of some kind. You could argue some are maybe fish or something, but just things like turtles or whatever, or like more land-based water Pokemon kind of things. I have a thing, I really quite like them. I really quite like Bruce Lee. It was a shame he went. It would have lived to crit, I'm pretty sure. At the point, he only had like about 50% HP. I used that turn to heal Lucy, because she would have done better against, I think, what I was against, an annoying ice thing, but it just didn't happen. He got critted and killed. And one about crits, Lucy went down to the crit against Hydrogen, annoyingly. One thing though, I did end up messing up the saves a bit, so I had to go through that again, just off screen after I originally did it. And like Lucy went against Hydrogen, and Hydrogen did about 75% with a Dragon Pulse. I may have actually said this already or not, I'm not sure, but she only did about 25% with X's or against it, which is super effective. So yeah, it would have been kind of annoying anyway if she did survive. It would have been quite still a tough point, but she survived it with knowledge. She was my starter. She's the one that, she had survived so long. She got through so much of the game with me. She's like the longest standing member of the team. She's the one, like, from since she was caught, since she died. That is longer than anyone else ever, and longer than anyone else ever will be. Even Blobinson. Well, I guess maybe to an extent you could argue Blobinson could maybe be in for a bit longer, but then again, it still doesn't matter that much. It's like just so long there, and starter as well. It's like the first person you get, the first Pokemon you have, and just it was just horrible. Shane was a good member, needed maybe a bit more speed, powerful member, the most strongest one out of the 6 for the Elite 4 Energy Heatus for last game stuff. The problem was Rain, Surf, Shane's dead. He probably could have still died to a Surf without the Rain. I forgot about the Rain, I forgot he could learn Surf. Hydrogen learned Surf. That was my bad. It was sad to see Shane go. He didn't even have to go. It's just one of those few points, just like Joe. I switch him into something that is just going to one-hit KO him. He's not even fast enough to hit. It feels faster. I'm pretty sure Superpower would have one-hit KO'd the Hydrogen, but that's just too bad, really. Fish Knight, probably the worst Pokemon in the entire Nuzlocke. Couldn't evolve. Very bad move pool. Very bad stats. But in the end, Fish Knight still managed to actually help. That was a bit of a sacrifice. If it wasn't for the Fire Blast, he could have probably stood against Hydrogen and survived. But it was the Fire Blast that really made things difficult. If it missed, that would have been brilliant, because I could have protected the next turn, switched to Blobinson, and then maybe stalled it a bit. But Fish Knight, the last thing to die of the main story of the Nuzlocke. Quite sad, but still lovely. It's just managed to survive that long. But definitely the Pokemon of the entire Nuzlocke, that is Blummensen. A very naughty little Blummensen apparently. And Blummensen just did well. Blummensen, like, even against, what was it, Reshiram was it? It got a crit Hyper Beam. And Blummensen lives with 3 HP. 3 HP. On that note though, Lucy did that a lot. Surviving crits with very low HP. It was just amazing just getting through there. It felt really intense. I was surprised to get through with Blummensen in the end. 1v1, that was it. The final battle, it decided everything, and Blummensen managed to pull out in the end. Not even doing an attack against Hydrogen, just healing because of Fish Knight's sacrifice essentially. So yeah, that was really good. So yeah, as I said earlier in the part, should I continue on? Should I do more of the stuff that I can do after game, or should I just leave the game here? I know it's kind of dragged on for quite a while, a lot longer than I thought, but it was just kind of like a go for everything, see everything that's died. Actually, on that note though, how many did die? That's 6, 12, 18 and 20. 20 died through the main story of the game. There was a few we weren't able to capture, like we failed to capture and everything. And obviously I have 21 being Blummensen and being a survivor and everything. But yeah, should I continue on? Should I just leave it here and go into White 2 or whatever I decide to do after this? I just really up to you. Did you actually have like, unlike me, do you actually remember better their deaths or any major moments of any of the team here? It has been quite a long time. There was a big gap of me on not uploading anything, which should probably make your mind a bit more forgetful. Is there anyone that you really liked? Anyone's deaths that really hit quite hard? Lucy's probably one. I'll say Lucy, Tim, and Ed are probably the 3 biggest ones for me. Clyde, Bruce Lee and Met Dog were also quite sad for me as well, and I felt quite bad sad for Fish Knight. He did try his best, he just wasn't particularly that great. I did like everyone though, even as much as a badmouth little Fish Knight. Probably the most forgetful one is the first one for me personally, Simon, because now thinking back, I think I remember most of them apart from probably about Simon and Scruffy. I feel bad saying that, but I guess because they were so early on as well, and they never really stood out that much, and I'm rambling on even longer. Why are you letting me ramble on? Anyway, thank you for watching, and whether this is the last part of Nuzlocke or I'll do more, I don't know. Have your says, wherever. May or may not, we'll see what happens. But thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the Nuzlocke, and I shall see you next time.